started. Well, hello, everybody. Like, I hope there's someone behind those videos, muted it's icons. Thank you so much, first of all, Ariel, for inviting me today. Some weeks ago, Ariel reached out to me and he said, like, look, Miriam, we only have 2 weeks. So I just watched your talk at Naruto. Please just repeat the talk and we'll be good to go. And I said, okay, Ariel, I don't think I want to do that talk anymore. So especially with the pandemic and so on, like I just crave connection so much. So I told Ariel, look, why don't we make something interactive so actually people can participate? And then we decided to do this live workshop. So here we are. Thank you so much, everybody behind those screens. And well, I'm thrilled for you to be here. So thank you. It's going to be fun. Before I forget, if you have kids around, I guess like around the in-person, I didn't know it was going to be in person. There are no kids, right, Ariel? Like no kids around?
I mean, not where I am right now, because I left with the Israel RB group, but potentially others could have.
So anyone, if you have kids next room, bring them in. This is for them too. It's going to be fun. Here's the agenda for the next 40 minutes, more or less. Let's see how long we got into it. First, I'll introduce you to Zerus and Ona, who they are, where they come from, and where they live. Then we'll have some time together to share our ideas and to share anything that's crossing our minds, any questions about anything. And again, like I want this to be very interactive. So if you have any questions along the whole presentation intro, just pin me. You know, Ariel said you can unmute yourself. Please, let's make it really like live and engaging. It's going to be good. And then we'll jump into the workshop and we'll do some live drawing together, some live writing together, and we're going to take ourselves and navigate through computers. That's what we're going to do. And heads up, along the way, I'm going to also share a discount code for those of you who want to get any of the books, to get them signed and get them shipped to you. So let's begin. I believe it is part of our responsibility as tech people to share what we know with the world around us, and especially with children. They're growing up highly surrounded by technology without knowing what's behind it. And I also believe that it is our responsibility as parents, moms and dads, I have a 4-year-old boy, to explain them what the technology around them is and how it works, to tell them what is all this about, right? And I think it's also important to do it in a way that it's accessible and easy to understand and it's fun and engaging, to balance out the sometimes more negative narrative that there is around technology, right? Like coming from some media, right? Like this is fun, you know, it's not all bad, you know, and it's not all about the screen time and what do we do with it. And the reason for that is that understanding computers is a superpower, right? Knowing how the technology around them works will become part of their toolkit to express themselves and create their own world in whatever way they choose. Not everybody needs to become a programmer, but when they grow up, they'll use computers, technology in one way or another, even if it's just to create their own website. And who knows what the equivalent of that will be in 20 years from now. And the sooner we start, the better. So the question here is, how can we help children to look at technology as something fun and exciting that is full of adventures ready to be discovered? Here's why also it's even more important. I'm reading the, sorry, I was distracted by the chat. Here's why reaching a wider group of children becomes even more important. And it is the lack of diversity that currently exists inside the tech industry. We could talk for hours about the many underrepresented groups, but today I'd like to highlight here the role that we play as moms. And that is easy to forget in our day-to-day lives. And I'm speaking for myself here too. There's a lot of talk about role models out there and where to look for them. And that's awesome. But here's the thing. there's a big chance that it's actually us, moms, who will become the first models to our children. And then they need to see not only that we like tech, but also that we are good at it. For girls, we might be able to inspire them. And for boys, they'll see their future colleagues in us. What if we get this right? What if, your mom is a programmer, Ariel? You see, like, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. If we get them enthusiastic about the world of technology, two things will happen. First, if we are able to reach a wider range of children, we'll eventually contribute to close the diversity gap. The teams building our digital future will become more diverse, and we'll be finally building a digital world that's more inclusive, that takes everybody into account. And then, and this makes me very excited, children will stop using technology as consumers and will start seeing themselves as creators. They'll start dreaming, and many of them, like Ariel today, will end up becoming the designers and builders of our digital future. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. Last year, so everything starts with this message that I received last year while I was attending the We Are Tech Women conference in the UK. And at that, after I introduced myself, a dad came to me and he said, okay, Miriam, this is great, but I have a 6-year-old girl who I'd love to get more into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But you know what? She already sees technology as a boy thing. And 6 years old, that's really early, right? This made me think of the time when I was little, because I was that same girl. My dad always wanted me to go into computer science, and he used to say, Miriam is the future, Miriam is the future. And well, I didn't listen, right? And now we know he was right, and that I completely missed the point. So instead, I went to college and I studied architecture. It was around my 30s that I started to get interested in technology, and I taught myself how to code. Ever since, I've worked in different countries around Europe as a software developer and also as a programming teacher. And with my classes, I've taught hundreds of students how to switch their careers into tech, as I did myself. 4 years ago, I became a mom. And when I had my son, I started thinking about how I'd like to introduce him to the world of technology and how I could bring some of the elements that I used in my teaching into people's homes and help other parents and educators to open up the conversation around technology. One night, together with my husband, who is a computer programming as well, we started saying, wouldn't it be cool if we're writing stories happening inside a computer about how computers do math or graphics or how the internet works? And what if they were told by a 0 and a 1? They could live in the binary world. And that's how Zerus and Ona were born. They are a 0 and a 1, the main two characters of a picture book series living inside your computers. I now run workshops with families where they discover the world of technology through illustration and the power of stories. You've already seen some pictures of it. This is usually what I do with them. First, as they come in, they pick one of these cards. And I say it like I have them here. So they're like this. And I say right away, hey, you know what? These are bits. You want to pick a 0 or you want to pick a 1? Then they go with the cards, they sit. And as I kick off, asking them, what is this? And I grab my phone. And I bring my computer and I say, like, what is this? And they say, phone, a computer, phone, a computer. And then I ask, you know what's inside? And then they all silent. And someone says, like, cables. And I said, yeah, there are cables, but there are also bits, like the ones that you have in your hands. Bits are 0s and 1s, and there are a ton of them. inside all computers, inside all phones. They are everywhere. Then we read the book together. Welcome to our world. You've already seen some illustrations of it as well. And I say, look, this is Zerus, he's a 0. And this is Ona, she's a 1. They are the ones with red pockets. Let's go find them, let's go find them. And then we start reading the book, and we flip the pages, and they love spotting Zerus and Ona every time they see them, right? Like looking for those red pockets. Like where's Bueno feeling. And then we dance, because the story in the song is also a song. The one you've listened in the beginning of the talk. Like maybe we later can play it again. You can look for the dance on YouTube, and it's also on SoundCloud, and very, very soon on Spotify. After we dance, we talk about binary, and that's how computers speak, right? It's the language.
Do you want me to play the song now for a minute?
Okay, let's play it so people can get the full experience.
Should I get the video or just the audio?
Whatever you just
Let's
decide.
do the video.
It's
a cute video. I like it.
Hello human, welcome to our world. We are tiny zeros and ones. Clack, clack, clock, clock, clack, clack, clock, clock, clook. Sometimes humans like to call us bits. 1 bit, 2 bits, 4 bits, 1 byte. The binary world. The binary world. The binary world. The binary world. Blip, blip, blop, blop, blip, blip, blop, blop, bloop. We are never bored in the binary world, the place you humans call our home. We paint and do math, we play music and dance, we run and ride and swim and fly. Hello Bit, I'm Zerus. Hello Bit, I'm Ona. That's how we met and that's how we clicked. Ever since that first memory, we've done every task side by side. We paint and do math, we play music and dance, we run and ride and we swim and we fly. The binary world. The binary world. The binary world. The binary world. Bit by bit, byte by byte, living in computers' hearts.
Bit by bit. Stop there. Awesome. Well done. It's funny because then you see parents and also moms, like joining and understanding for the first time that what are bits and bytes. So it's awesome. Thank you, Ira, for that. You pushed me. Good. Well done. Okay, so here's the thing. After we dance, right? Like we talk about binary, right? Like right away, they've been listening about this is the binary world, this is the binary world, bits and bytes. And I said, like, look, binary is just the language of computers. And I tell them, like, who speaks Spanish here? Who speaks English? Who speaks Dutch, right? So computers, they have their own language, right? And they only use zeros and ones. And then I said, like, look, why don't you bring all those cards, and we play a game together, right? With your bits and with your zeros and with your ones. And then they use those same cards and they all go home saying like, we speak binary, Miriam. And it's like, yay, okay. And then moms, families, all speak binary. One sec. If you want to download the cards game, like it's on the website for free. You can download it and it has all the instructions. So you can just go to zerusandona.com/EMEA on Rails. Maybe Ariel can help me to put a link in the chat, or I don't have it, but zerusandona.com/EMEA on Rails. And then you can just download it for free with all the instructions, which looks something like this. So you download the PDF, play the game together, and they speak like computers. It comes with instructions and all you need to print it out. and play the game right away. And then for the ones of you wanting a copy of the book, like a signed copy, you can go also to zerusandona.com, and I made I created a discount code for the people attending EMEA on Rails as well. Go EMEA on Rails, all capital letters, like make your order and give me the name of the little one so that I can sign it. Worldwide, you can get it in paperback, right? And via Amazon and other online bookstores, just check for it, like it's in many of them. And the book series is already in 4 languages: English, German, Dutch, and Spanish, and very soon also in French. We're working on it. Now, right now, I'm working on the 3rd book of the series, which probably it's gonna be called A Visit to the ALU, which is the Arithmetic Logic Unit. And I wanted to show you some pieces of the process before we move on to the workshop, right? To show you that not everything looks amazing from the start. Actually, how it all starts is in my journal, and I journal very fast. It needs to come from that other side of my mind, right? And then I take those sketches from my journal and I make a first storyboard. So we are gonna make together like something very similar to this. I usually start doing this, and then I take pictures of it. I move it to my iPad. I do everything with the iPad on Affinity Designer. And then I make rough sketches, 64 pixels, like this one. Those sketches become fine sketches with 32 pixels brush, like this one, or this one, which is from the Central Processing Unit, which is going to be part of this book, I think. Or this one, which is the entrance to the ALU. So there are a lot of doors and a lot of computer buses, and Ona is just traveling everywhere. Then in between, I make this, like in between this black and white, I make all these color studies. And the reason for that is black and white give me the data, the information that I need, like a more detail. But these color studies give me the vibe and the feeling that I want to have for the story. And you can see, like, if you've seen many different books, like they start, you see the evolution of it as well. And I kind of like that because it means that it's like they are alive, right? And then they are just coming from inside of the computer, like just telling me what to do in each of those moments. And then this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but there is kind of an overflow happening at some point in the allow. And then Ona is like falling, and you don't know where she's going. Okay, so just so you know, that's a little bit about the creative process. So just to show you that there are many phases, and here we're just going to do the first one, right? Now let's take a break and let's share some ideas or any questions before we move on to the work. Like anything that's crossing your mind. No pressure, no pressure. But like, otherwise we move on to the workshop. I have homework. Okay, Clara, yeah, please.
I'm interested to know, how did you come up with the little characters? Did you do like ideation and drew a bunch of characters, or how did you decide to draw them like that?
A lot. Actually, if you look, like I have the first sketch that I made about Zerus and Ona on my notebook. Like it was really like they have nothing to do with Zerus and Ona at the moment. And one of the most difficult things about Zerus and Ona was actually getting the anatomy right, because I told myself, like, I wanna do a lot of books, and I was having feelings of, I don't feel good with Zerus like this, even like a curve, right? Or even like a, and I know that it was like, no one is gonna care, Miriam, it's just you, right? But they normally tell you, like, look, you need to make it comfy at home, you know, before you're moving outside. So before I share anything about Zerus and Ona, you can see actually there are some places on the internet where you can see Zerus and Ona early sketches. Also, they were not colorful at all. It was all black and white. Like I was really focused on getting the curve, getting the anatomy right. And then like, I just messaged like a ton of friends and, you know, like supporters, like with kind of rows of zeros and ones, you know, and each of them had to circle, you know, for it. And then I will be back and then I will go, Crazy. And now you're going to see later in the workshop, but now I'm going to show you what I do. Like I have stamps of zeros and ones. So I don't need to get the right curve right the whole time. So we are going to do the storyboard. We're going to do very rough sketches, and then we're going to go with those stamps and put them in picture. And then you'll see right away, it's like zeros and ones are there. It's going to be fun. Like, but the anatomy was hell. Yeah. And I was about to just like quit, because it's one of those things that if you don't get it right, you know, like you're going to be drawing them maybe for life. Who knows? But eventually, right? So, and it was the same with the colors. So getting the anatomy and getting the colors, it was this like, my husband, I was normally telling him, like we talked a lot, right, about Zerus and Ona, they're part of our lives now. And like I talked to him and I was like, why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? And he works in video games. So he was like, look, as in video games, you know, like this is pre-production work. You're doing pre-production work, Miriam, it needs to get done, it needs to get done. But I have like a full folder of anatomy sketches. Who thought that zeros and ones have an anatomy? Thank you, Clara.
That's fascinating. Thanks. I'm really excited to see the storyboard thing.
Let's do it. Any other questions? Anything that you want to share? Anything that's crossing your minds? Anything like it's like, this is nuts. Let's move to the workshop. Yeah, like, are you up for a little bit of story making together, traveling inside computers? Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so here's the thing. The books are just the beginning, right? Like why I actually use storytelling and illustration to teach kids about technology, it is because I believe the vehicle that we use for communication becomes as important as the topic that we're trying to teach. And when I was little, if you would tell me as a 5-year-old, you tell me, Miriam, we are going to build a robot. Maybe that would work for other people. Like for me, it wouldn't, right? But if you come and you say, Miriam, we're going to color something together. We are going to create stories together. You know, like let's imagine a world together. I'm in, right? And Zerus and Ona are kind of the tool that my dad didn't have when he was trying to inspire me to get into computer science, right? So let's see if we have better luck with this approach. Biggest dream with Zerus and Ona then is that to create an imaginarium for the kids where they can actually create their own stories, guide the characters, and make up their own adventures. That's where the magic happens. And if we do it together, along with them, like it becomes a triangle. It becomes computer science, it becomes the parent, the educator, the mom, the dad, and the kid. And if we all get excited, right, like that's where magic happens. So I thought we could do some rehearse here and now with all of you. And we're going to create a little story together, and I'll give you some prompts and tips, and we take it from there. I don't know if you, like, what did we say? Like, people can unmute themselves, right, Ariel? Like, everyone can unmute it. So,
if you don't, then I guess say in the chat and let me know.
Okay, so otherwise you can use the chat, you can use the unmute button, like let's hybrid kind of, and we try to to gather every input. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna give you some characters, I'm gonna give you a place, and I'm gonna give you a beginning of the story. The characters, Zerus and Ona. The place, your computer. It's happening inside your computer. And the beginning of the story is that day when we woke up, it was very, very warm. I'm sweating, Zerus. Me too, Ona. Okay? Now, I'm going to change screens, Ariel. So let's see how we do it. People can start thinking about it, like just like get your juices flowing. This, now what I need to do is like, I need to stop share this. And then I need to go here. Open this. iPad 5. This whole thing made me very nervous because you never know when technology is gonna quit on you, right?
You're very brave to do this live.
Let's do it live. Why not? Like I've done it with teachers at the university and it's so fun. So I'm trying to do it more. Oh no, I closed it. Yeah.
Is this the one that you wanted to share, or
This is the one we're sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I make it bigger? It'll just make our videos smaller, but maybe for this part we want to.
Yeah, maybe it's better, right? For this part, like everyone can listen. We can listen to each other. So, okay. So how I like to think about it, it's like imagine that you're like it's in real life, right? And then it's like maybe you're at home and your computer is too warm, right? And you have a little kid around, and that little kid is like, "Why is this too warm?" Right? And then you turn that into a story. Right? I think that's where parents can make a difference in the way that their children, they look at computers, but also talking with some tech people like about Zerus and Ona. They were saying like, well, everybody in the tech industry could benefit from trying to tell what they do or anything related with technology as if they were talking to a kid, right? So it's a good exercise anyway, if your kid can understand. And then like the kid would say like, okay, why is this so warm? You turn it into a story, right? And you say like, but why is that so warm, right? So we start there, right? We can say like, okay, so what causes your computer to heat up? We can start like brainstorming ideas together. And I've never done this with tech people, so this is gonna be fun. Let's add some extra layer, right? Like maybe of complexity to the matrix.
I'm thinking about one time I left some machine learning, basically some TensorFlow code running overnight, developing a machine learning model. I feel like this is not the direction that we want to go for this.
I missed you at some point, Ariel. So machine learning, what would be like some keywords? Machine learning.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that I feel like this is like the too complicated case for a kid's book, right? You said doing some tech people, right? The hottest my computer ever got was when it was trying to build a machine learning model. So I'm thinking of like what's a simpler version of that. I mean, I feel like anything video can make computers heat up if you run it for long enough. You put on Netflix for too long, and and at a certain point, like just the connection to the internet and the processing work to process the video, maybe that could be something.
Okay, so too many. Let's do this. Too many tasks at once, and then maybe we say video in particular. I kind of like the machine learning stuff as well, right? Like so. Let's put that in. What were you doing with machine learning? Give me some keywords there.
What was I doing? I was developing a model for just to see if it was possible to take some sort of past moderation of reviews and then apply it to other reviews and see if we could sort of build a moderation model. So yeah, it takes a while to build things when you do it on your own machine instead of using a cloud service or something.
Okay. In your own machine instead of cloud. Okay, we got two. When was the last time that your machine got really hot?
I could imagine like the fan being like this active, I don't know, monster activity that Zerus and Ona have to look for. And then when they find it, the creature has too many tasks and is just in panic. And then when it like gets calm again, it starts to buzz like the fan does.
Buzzing, like the fan activity, monster, like something, creature in panic, buzzing and buzzing.
Yep.
Okay. And then maybe like, well, we'll look at the visuals later, but I can imagine, you know, like this huge fun, you know, like as a very prominent moment in the story, right? Like you just see the fun there, right? And Zerus and Ona are sweating and it's like a desert, you know. Okay, give me more. Willy Wonka moment. Yeah, Willy Wonka moment.
You know that moment in Willy Wonka where they're sort of drifting down towards this gigantic fan.
You need to tell me more about that. Okay, now when we get into the drawing, you need to get more. Like,
Okay.
let's say like, I don't know, like a couple of more. Like people can get very creative. These teachers at university, computing teachers, future creative computing teachers, they were saying like, oh, I left my computer in the sun, right? And then it's like, okay, I was really inside the computer, right? Like, and then you're talking about the sun here. Okay.
You know what this could be? Because if we want to get like technical, but on a much simpler level, you know, it could be something like, you know, something like, you think about like a memory leak, but you know, in pictures, right? There's a memory leak, and now, you know, and now we're paging, and you know, the system's getting overwhelmed because of this, you know, this misbehaving program that's just gobbling up all the memory.
That's quite cool.
Misbehaving program. Some keywords, some of the keywords, misbehaving program.
Endless loop, maybe?
Sorry?
An endless loop, maybe?
An endless loop. Oh, an endless loop would be nice as well, huh?
Heavy
Okay.
calculations in general, yeah.
Okay. I personally like these two. What about you? Any hands for memory leak? Hands for memory leak? Hands for endless loop? Okay, let's go for memory leak. Maybe there's an endless loop happening somewhere or the other. Let's keep that in mind. Okay, so let's try to see like, also memory leaks, I guess, like it's something that would happen in your day-to-day life, but like quite, like, I don't know, like quite often, like maybe, you know, it's not that nice, but would be awesome. Could be. Okay, so now that we have these ideas, okay, we can also have the fun, you know, maybe the fun creature comes in here. So we have some elements, right? Like the fun creature, we have maybe videos running at some point, because, you know, when you compile, you push, you know, like you need to do something in the meantime, right? So who knows, you know, like you might be a little bit distracted. Just let's keep them in mind. We have video, we have memory leak, machine learning, let's leave it for now. The fun, monster, activity monster, memory leak, endless loop. Okay, and now I thought we could do a storyboard with 6 pages. Yeah, these are 6 pages in the book. Let's see where we, like, I'm gonna also now like switch to my drawing thing. And then the kid comes and he said like a memory leak, right? Like that's why your computer is so warm. And then let's just, I'm gonna make this 64. And then, okay, but Zerus and Ona are waking up. So where are they? Where are they? Where does Zerus and Ona sleep?
I have no
in the
idea.
memory,
The other side of where the fan is? Where the memory?
in the memory bank.
In the memory bank? Okay, how does the
Can
memory
you
look
just-
like? Like if
I
you would
don't
say
know.
like, and dad, what's like the memory bank? Like what's the memory bank? Right? Like maybe, I don't know, like maybe let's
Like the
see
bookstores from Harry Potter, those infinite bookstores.
maybe, yeah, maybe it's something like this, right? I don't know.
That'll
like,
be some
let's
kind of long row, and it kind of makes sense that you know, the 1 and the 0 are sleeping in the memory bank because, you know, they're being stored in memory right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some signs here. I love that. Okay, and then okay, so these are 0s and 1s. Can that be? Can that be? And maybe we have some big ones here. like that are already like, you know, waking. And then this is like, what do they do when they wake up? They wake up, they warm up. They warm up doing what? I don't know. How does a computer warm up? I don't know, like just giving you questions here, like just crazy. Eh? But those are things that I would, you know, like, but you know, we still remember that there's a memory leak going on, right? So, and then Zerus and Ona are just maybe like, this is Ona, right? And they actually sleep maybe in different places. So, and then Ona is saying like, it's so warm in here. And then Zerus is saying here like, I don't know what's going on, Ona. And then maybe we see them already here sweating, you know, like going somewhere here. And then we can picture that this is all zeros and ones. And then maybe
in their pajamas.
In the pajamas, in the fridges, in the fridges.
Yeah. I think that the hat from the last slide before, I think would be perfect.
Yeah, the hat, yeah, they sleep
Yeah.
with okay, so this is the hat. And then also like Zerus had the hat. And if you see the hat, like there's a plus or a minus hanging. So some hats have a plus and the others have a minus. So maybe, you know, like we can also like, okay, so we got it. But imagine like, I'm not gonna draw in here because we have some minutes, but these are all zeros and ones. And just so to show you what I was saying before about the stumps, these are my stumps. So the moment that, just so in case later we go like, this is Ona, and then I can just make Ona like this, and then I can make Zerus also very tiny. And then you start seeing some kind of life into it, right? Okay, and then they go here, they're still sleepy. And what happens now? So they sleep in the memory. Like, where does the memory leak happens? Like, maybe we see Atom, or we see Sublime Text, or there's something, I don't know, like maybe we see the console. I don't know, like, or there's a big screen happening with the console, and
maybe the leak is like flowing out like a river.
okay, so Zerus and Ona are coming from here, right? And we still maybe, we see them now a little bit bigger, right? And then like maybe, I don't know, they stopped at kind of, you know, like a fence, you know, they're looking into the horizon. And then the memory leak is something like this. It's like a river full of,
Yeah.
okay, let's leave it full of lines.
It's so interesting because I saw this and I'm thinking like a tornado kind of pulling things up into the sky.
Maybe it's a tornado.
That's
It's the same lines almost.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, and it's coming somewhere, right? So it goes in that direction. And then the kid is like, a tornado, I saw that sound. Okay, and there are also like, you know, they always say cables, so it's important like we add some cables, right? So they still get the connection. So, okay, and what are they saying? I don't know. Like normally at this stage, I still don't see texts. Sometimes I see some sentences, right? Like a tornado, right, or something. And I see that maybe tornado comes really like as part of the illustration, right? Like kids really love that, right? Like because also especially when they start to read, they can read tornado. That's also maybe something that we could add here. And then there's a lot of things happening, like it's just trees and okay. So memory leak, tornado, the memory, that's where they sleep. And now what happens with that tornado? Like how do we fix a memory leak actually?
Is there someone in the computer who has the answer to that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the same, like, I don't know, we have the ventilator as a creature. Maybe we need other creatures, right?
Yeah.
That tell that information. is it a creature or are screens or it's a button or it's like, you know, like there's a wise old Zerus that knows everything. There used to be like, it's in the idea bank, right? Like there's in the idea bank, there is this grand Zerus, right? Who knows everything. But I normally say like, oh no, it needs to be a grand Ona, right? Like she's the one that knowing it all, right? Like, so we can say like, there's someone here. And how can we actually represent a wise person inside a computer? Like maybe, like Kristen said, like on a punch card.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe punch cards are the pictures on the walls, right? Like that person has been collecting them for ages.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so then there is a room, like very arty, yeah, in which is all like punch cards. And then the kid says, like, what are punch cards, Daddy? What are kind of punch cards, Mommy? And then you're writing another story. Like that night, then you're writing like another story. Okay, and then Zerus and Ona come here. They're still sweating, remember? They're like, oh God. Like, and then maybe this person here, it's like sitting somewhere, like maybe it's sitting on a CD-ROM because he's a collector. He's been, I don't know how can we don't know if it's a 0 or if it's a 1 or if it's something else. Okay, so we have the punch cards and then this person here is giving them the answer.
That could be the CPU.
This could be the CPU.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's the brain of the computer, right?
And then the CPU has also all the processes listed here. So maybe there is like a running list of processes. And then one of them, what? You know, like really like, I don't know, there is a process. How did you know that there is a memory leak? Apart from your computer being too warm. That's a question that my kid would ask.
Things are slowing down.
Oh, yeah, slow.
It's so slow. Okay, so maybe this person here actually moves really slow. And then we make a note here and it's like, let's show some slowness in the picture. And then at that moment, it doesn't come and it's like, okay, let's move on. And that's when you say, like, instead of making a book, we need to be making a TV show, right? Like, how do we express the movement in the whole thing? Step by step. Okay, what do we do now? So this person, this wise bit, we could call it, it's a wise bit. Like, what's this like where, or maybe they can test things out. Maybe they go to the computer, they go to the fun. Or how do you actually like, FYI medium 5-minute warning, 5 minutes people. So we have 5 minutes to find an end for this. We can do it 2 routes, you know, like, so we keep looking at what is a memory leak or like, or we take them to the fun or some of the stories that can also be like, oh, it's solved, you know? And then there was a little human shutting down the computer. That's also like a nice, like maybe one night when you don't really like are for bedtime stories. That's a nice end. Okay, so memory leak. We went to this wise man. Where's the? Okay, so maybe the tornado is somewhere here, right? And it's still going on. And then Zerus and Ona, they were told that if they got they go very fast. This is Zerus. And they took already the bikes. And this is Ona. And they went there. The memory leak actually, like, they need to get inside the tornado because that's where that's where it's happening. And then maybe the tornado, then like they get it somehow. And then Zerus is here, Ona is here, and then they have superpowers. I don't know if they have superpowers. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do in there, but maybe like what else?
How do you calm down the tornado monster or the?
Yeah, how did you calm him down? How did you calm him down?
I don't know, with ice cream or nice words or being kind, or what do you teach your children?
Yeah, maybe like I like the word like. Or maybe they need to blow. That's also nice. Like kids really like something that they can do with their bodies, right? So like we have a story about Zerus and Ona, which is like hugs, like an algorithm giving hugs, and he loves it. So then maybe it's like you need to blow, right? Like you need to blow like even harder than the tornado. And then Zerus and Ona, maybe they blow. And then in bed, you start with your kids, and you end up blowing, and then you're very tired, right? And then the tornado calms down, and then like the end can be like, actually there's like, I want to bring the creature with the ventilator somehow like in the end, and it's a happy ending. And then the tornado, it's kind of, it's just one little thing here, and it's going away. And then there's an owner here, and they're like, okay, we did it. Yay. Time for bed. Yeah? That was it. Awesome. Now, think when you finish, like, let me do it. Like, think when you finish, like, something like this, important. You had that? So, I think we must have like 2 minutes left. So, anything that you want to point out? I think it turned out like nice, right? Like we have some tornado, we have some blow, we have some physical movements. So, you know, like there are a lot of elements in there. Like potentially, you know, like this could become like one of the favorite stories, and maybe you need to tell it like night after night after night after night, and eventually, you know, like they will get into it. At least I hope you're having a nice time. I want to say thank you. I want to say that, well, if you want to get the cards, remember zerusandona.com/EMEA on Rails. And then if you want to reach out, you want to say hello, you want to say anything, I'm always reachable by email at miriam@zerusandona.com. Thank you so much for being here today and writing this story with me. It was fun.
It was great.
Anyone wants to, like, before we wrap up, like, anyone wants to point out, like, anything? Like, it was a little group. That was nice. It was cozy. We got some girls.
Buy the book.
Some women. Buy the book. And someone got it. Someone got it, actually. Like, this one, it's the board book. So, and it's this one is the one that is like, it's like really hard pages, so kids cannot tear them apart. So the recommended age is like, okay, here's the thing. It's a little bit difficult. Ideally, 4 years, but I've been reading it since the very beginning. And it is also like, I have like real babies, like for babies, no, like there are 2 titles for now. This is the 3rd one, The Visit to Diallo. I would say for little ones starting from babies, get this one, because also like I don't know if you can see it, but there's very little text, and then there's like a lot of illustrations. So the whole idea is that that he gets the whole imaginary, right, about computers. And as I said, like just Zerus and Ona, but with your 5-month-old, yeah, exactly. Like I started reading books when he was very little, and then he's really into it. And then with Zerus and Ona, he's seen the whole thing. And I think it was with 2 years and a half, that he first to my computer, and he said like, Zerus and Ona live there, right? So I think that's what we're trying here, right? Like what we're trying here is to change the whole relationship that they have with computers, and the sooner we start, the better. I told myself, if he's little enough to stare at a screen, he's big enough to stare, like to know more about it, right? Like to Yeah. So, and then you get Zerus Gets a Virus, which is a little longer text, but it gives you another story, another illustrations. And then Visit to the Alu is the one that I'm doing now. And then for next year, and I'm very excited about this one, but first is the third one. Like there is a big book coming with a lot of short stories. I want to make a book in which you actually open each of the pages and it's kind of one room inside the computer. And then they have shorter stories with words that they can relate to. So for example, like, I don't know if memory leak it's going to be, but I've noted that down. But what if we start the conversation and then we have like, I don't know, like coding, we have bug, we have algorithm, like some of these stories are already on the website as well. You can get them for free. Like it's also a PDF there if you sign up. It's like a dictionary. Yeah, exactly. It's like a dictionary that helps you. And then the thing yesterday, for example, we were reading some of them to him, like in bed yesterday. And then there's one which is like bug soup. And then he was the one, the whole point is like, they are the ones asking you what is a bug and not the other way around, right? So we wait for them to be ready. And instead is that, how do we flip that around? And they are the ones asking what are bits and what is a bug and what is an algorithm. And then let's try to get some physical thing in there. And then we're done, right? That's the dream. That's the whole idea. Yeah, but my whole idea was like, how do I get parents and kids to talk about technology in bed? That was the first vision for me. Like, so one day you read them about animals, and the other day you read them about bits and bytes. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome to have you. And yeah, we'll see you around. I think we're gonna close. I also left, so let's do something. Thank you so much for being here. Clara, Chris, Sabine. Bye, everyone.